Hinoka Takamiya contentedly lives a completely ordinary life as an average high school junior. The only disruption to his days comes in the form of an interaction with Ayaka Kagari, the smartest, prettiest, and most popular girl in his school. The two of them have never interacted despite riding the same bus every morning and sitting next to each other in class. But one day, all of this changes. As soon as someone in the bus calls out, "Princess," Hinoka already knows what's coming next: chaos. The gorgeous yet phlegmatic Ayaka is the daughter of the school's chairwoman. Knowing that the girl is rich, he wonders why she even rides the bus when she can get her own ride. Though his quiet morning has already been spoiled, it doesn't stop there. In class, he accidentally drops his eraser, and since Ayaka's sat next to him, she picks it up and hands it over to Hinoka. This results in the poor boy getting bullied and beaten up by the girl's jealous fans. After class, Hinoka is taking out the trash when he sees a weird-looking stuffed rabbit with a note that says, "Today's weather, sunny with occasional falling school buildings." Before he could even absorb what he just read, he looks up and realizes the school building is falling from the sky. In his panic, he can only scream out, "I don't want to die," as the huge structure drops directly on him. When Hinoka opens his eyes, he finds himself in Ayaka's arms. He starts flailing, embarrassed by the situation, but the girl just tells him not to move. He realizes that they are up in the air, with Ayaka standing on a broomstick as they look down at the mess in the school's courtyard. A mysterious girl with cat ears commands two big armored rabbits to attack them. Ayaka is quick to counterattack, tossing Hinoka in the air before setting the rabbits on fire. With Ayaka taking their battle to the ground, she catches Hinoka, then coolly instructs him to stay close to her. While her fight with the rabbits continue, Hinoka hears someone calling out to him from behind the building. Thinking that it's one of Ayaka's friends calling him to safety, he immediately follows her. To his dismay, he comes face to face with an army of the same armored rabbits. As one of them prepares to behead him with an axe, the boy feebly thinks that he might just be dreaming since everything happening around him seems surreal. "We could hope the same for you, bud." Luckily for him, Ayaka sets the rabbits on fire before Hinoka got onioned by the menace hares. At this point, he still thinks that he's dreaming, so Ayaka explains that it was no dream, she's on a mission to protect him. Hinoka's equal parts amazed and confused to hear this, but he suddenly does a double take when Ayaka calls him her princess. Princess. Did he hear her right? Princess? His thoughts are cut off when he notices that a part of her hair is burning. He asks again, why is she protecting him, but she just repeats that he is her princess. Despite the many oddities that are just vying for his attention right now, he ends up focusing on her hair. In his growing anger, he yells at Ayaka, telling her that her hair is precious and didn't deserve to burn just for him. Just then, he sees a rabbit about to attack Ayaka from behind, so he jumps right in to protect her. Alas, he's just promptly flung to the side, spurring Ayaka to run to him and hold him in her arms as she finishes off the rest of the rabbit army using her incinerating million clover power. Eventually, Hinoka wakes up in an unfamiliar place, and Ayaka greets him. As much as he wants to think that everything that happened was a dream, Ayaka squashes any possibility of this. She promises to explain everything to him someday, but for now, he should get his bag and go home, leaving Hinoka dumbfounded. Since there's no need to protect him in secret anymore, she'll be bringing him home. This makes him realize that all the previous times Ayaka was near him weren't just coincidences, she made them all happen. While they're walking home together, she explains that it's her mission to protect him because he is her master. As gauche as the title is, Hinoka still feels a bit of relief since she isn't calling him princess anymore, but the relief is gone as quickly as it came when she tells him to walk beside her, calling him Princess Takamiya-kun. The next day, Hinoka rides the bus like nothing happened. But his expectation of having a typical day is quickly wrecked when Ayaka gets in and asks if she can sit beside him. They walk together in school, with the crowd of Ayaka's fans following them while talking crap about the poor boy. To make matters worse, Ayaka declares that from now on, they'll be going to school together. Good luck with that, princess. As soon as their classroom door opens, Hinoka is greeted by the angry look of his classmates that can strike the fear of God in just about anyone. He starts feeling queasy and rushes to the restroom while the girls in class question Ayaka about her life choices. But the moment Hinoka comes out of the restroom, he is immediately jumped by Ayaka's fans, the same one that bullied him. But before they could hurt him any further, Ayaka comes in, fixing his uniform and telling him to let her know if anyone messes with him. Her fans are taken aback, and they can only watch the two as they walk away. During lunchtime, an angry crowd surrounds Hanoka and Ayaka. Since Ayaka is Ayaka, you need to make reservations to eat with her, and her fan club keeps track of those. She doesn't care though, and she even feeds Hanoka a beautifully crafted wiener. Hanoka tries to excuse himself, saying that being there is against the rules. But the girl just tells him that where she eats and who she eats with is her choice, and that he is being selfish. Annoyed, Hanoka retorts that if it's her choice, then he also has his choice. Without warning, he gets up and runs away, leaving Ayaka alone. The crowd murmurs about how rude he is for yelling at Ayaka. And Ayaka, well, she isn't happy, either, so everyone gets burnt lunch. While Hanoka's walking along the school grounds, he notices that the place where the building landed yesterday is now good as new. Suddenly, the girl with the cat ears appears, telling him that it was just illusion magic. She just wanted to find out if he was harmless or not, hence the commotion from the day before. But now that Hanoka's coming to her himself, she deduces that he is, indeed, harmless. The cat girl introduces herself as Tanpopo Kureishi, Kuraishi, a tower witch who is on a mission to take Hanoka. Revealing her wings, she grabs the boy to escape, but before she can, a burst of flames sends her flying. Tanpopo isn't surprised, in fact, she expected this of the fire witch. Ayaka stands before her, ready to fight as Tanpopo yells out that Hanoka belongs to the tower. With a flick of her finger, Tanpopo's summoned her army of rabbits again. She warns Ayaka that she's going full force today, and with that, she brings in her entire bunny army to battle. As the rabbits close in on the two, Ayaka holds Hanoka. They fall to the ground and, boom, a huge explosion erupts. Hanoka finds himself underneath a dark place, with swords surrounding him. Blood drips on his face, and when he looks up, he sees Ayaka shielding him, the sharp blades piercing through her body. She's in such a perilous state, and yet the first thing she asks him if he's not hurt. Hanoka is mad. He's mad and confused. He doesn't know why she keeps saving him, why she keeps putting her entire being on the line just so nothing could even graze him. As Ayaka wipes the tears off his face, she asks him why he's angry again. Finally, he realizes it's his fault. He's the reason why Ayaka keeps getting hurt. He didn't follow her when she told him to stay close to her, and he didn't follow her when she wanted to eat lunch with him. Hanoka declares that he will start believing in her from now on. While he panics about her situation, Ayaka asks if he means that starting tomorrow, he won't run away from her during lunchtime anymore. Her dismissive attitude towards her situation makes Hanoka freak out even more, so Ayaka assures him she's okay, she's made of fire, after all. He just needs to follow her instructions so she can put an end to this. Ayaka tells him to close his eyes, and with that, she slowly turns into flames. While her rabbit army is fighting, Tanpopo contemplates how to bring Hanoka back to the tower. She was told that he can be brought dead or alive, but it wouldn't be good if she didn't bring him there in one piece. Her train of thought is interrupted by another huge explosion which sent her flying to a wall. Suddenly, Ayaka appears before her while carrying Hanoka in her arms. All her rabbits are now in flames, and the biggest one explodes and falls back. Terror strikes Tanpopo as she can do nothing but watch everything around her burn. Unmoved, Ayaka tells her, "Burn into nothingness." But before our catgirl here gets chicken-boned, she screams, "Plan B," as the place blasts in flames. She is carried by one of her army rabbits and they execute their flawless Plan B, Nigerundio. At Ayaka's signal, Hanoka finally opens his eyes. For the first time, he actually followed her instructions to the very end. Hanoka is astounded to see that everything is normal again, making him ponder the mystery behind these girls, who have been duking it out in the middle of the clear and very normal school grounds. While walking home that day, Hanoka apologizes to Ayaka for what he did during lunch and thanks her for the wiener. Ayaka doesn't respond and they walk together in silence. The very next day, their teacher introduces new transfer students to their class. 5 girls enter the room and Hanoka immediately recognizes the one in the middle. They introduce themselves one by one, starting with, you guessed it, Tanpopo Kureishi. As for the other girls, they're Rin Kazari, Kotetsu Katsura, Mei Menawa, and Kana Utsugi. Ayaka confirms the sweating Hanoka's suspicions. They are indeed all tower witches too. Well, this is going to be interesting. and scary for Hinoka. One day, Hinoka rides the bus alone to school. He thinks about all the weird incidents that have been happening to him lately and how he's the only one who knows jack about why the witches keep attacking him. He plans to get Ayaka to tell him all about it today since she just keeps on saying that she will, someday. But before he can do that, he needs to find her first because oddly enough, she didn't ride the bus with him. When Hinoka opens the door to their classroom, he is welcomed by 4 of the tower witches who are tied to poles while burning in flames. Nothing unusual here, folks. With a rifle in hand, Ayaka greets him good morning, making Hinoka back up and look at the sign outside the room. Torture seminar. Ayaka nonchalantly explains that she cast a spell on him to subconsciously go there. The boy asks her what she's doing, and she casually answers that she's holding a witch hunt since Hinoka told her the other day that those girls seem like trouble. Careful what you wish for around Ayaka now, Hinoka. Ayaka explains that she meant to join Hinoka on the bus ride but thought that she should finish off the witches first. She got a hold of them but lost Mei, so now she's torturing the other 4, hoping that the missing one will show up to their rescue. Ayaka's definitely a cruel mistress. Tanpopo can't even speak since they're all gagged. Softly, Hinoka asks Ayaka to drop the flames and let the witches speak up. And once she has the chance to, the tower witch yells at Ayaka, saying that they only wanted a peaceful commute to school, but Ayaka just had to attack them. She then turns her anger at Hinoka, telling him off for not disciplining Ayaka. Discipline? Like a pet? Hinoka shakes the thought off his head and Tanpopo continues to shout at him, suspecting that Ayaka is her woman. Flustered, the boy clarifies that they don't have that kind of relationship. Meanwhile, Ayaka asks if she can burn Tanpopo since she's being noisy, so a panicked Hinoka answers that no, she may not. He then approaches Tanpopo, and he struggles with her name at first, not knowing if she's Crisis-san or Crazy-san, making Tanpopo yell out, "It's Karashi." He finally asks her what they want from him. What did he do? Did he do something to make them angry? Tanpopo realizes that Ayaka hasn't told him yet, which makes sense since she's a workshop witch, and that's the side that's been hiding Hinoka all this time. Tanpopo then explains that they have no grudge against him. They're just after his body, after all. Hinoka's body? She clarifies, saying that they want the white stuff inside him. Ellipsis. Ma'am. Dumbfounded by what he heard, Hinoka turns red as he thinks of what Tanpopo meant. His body? His white stuff? White stuff. Ayaka then breaks his daze, telling him not to take what the enemy's saying at face value. Just then, a black gooey liquid starts dripping from the ceiling. Mei appears through the puddle and drops directly on Hinoka. She creates a barrier between her and Ayaka, before freeing the other 4 witches from being tied. Mei carries Hinoka on her shoulders and escapes, leaving Tanpopo, Kana, Rin, and Kotetsu to fight with Ayaka. She brings Hinoka to the lower floor through the puddle she created. While Mei's prematurely celebrating her graceful exit with the boy, the ceiling cracks and goes boom. Ayaka and her flames have quickly defeated the tower witches, and now, it's Mei's turn to get rocked and rolled. With Ayaka walking closer, Mei holds Hinoka hostage while warning her that her wolfish companion will bite Hinoka's head off. Hinoka yells at Ayaka not to worry about him, but the fire witch is unfazed, telling him to stay still while she saves him. How shall I cook this woman? Ayaka ponders, but Mei's confidence isn't shaken. She proudly claims that Ayaka genuinely cares about Hinoka here and not just about his white stuff. Mei continues trying to intimidate her and to show that she isn't afraid of killing the boy if need be. Her canine companion bites Hinoka's neck. This makes Ayaka stand at attention, sending his neck into flames before making a huge explosion that pries him out of Mei's grip. Ayaka carries Hinoka, but before she could attack again, Mei quickly disappears into her black fluid. As for the other witches, they're carried out by the armored rabbits. Once again, they're executing their strategic retreat since it's impossible for them to beat the devil that is Ayaka. Later on, Hinoka wakes up in Ayaka's private room, where he sees her wearing a scarf despite the hot weather. He also realizes that he doesn't have the wound from the bite. Ayaka had hoped that he could live a peaceful life without knowing of anything, but as the situation got worse, it became impossible to hide. Besides, he deserves to know. She tells him that in order to get his normal life back, they must defeat the mastermind, the one who stole his peace. However, she mentions that they have a problem. She doesn't know who that mastermind is. While Ayaka tells him about how her powers can defeat the mastermind once they find whoever it is, Hinoka thinks about the girl's kindness. He figures that she must be hiding her injury under the scarf she's wearing. Ayaka got hurt again because of his weakness. And with that, he declares that Ayaka shouldn't fight by herself anymore. Hinoka asks the Fire Witch to tell him everything about the other girls and about the two of them. Don't fight alone anymore, he pleads. I'm the one they're after. I can't keep watching you get hurt because of me. The boy asks her for a favor, to teach him magic. Or better yet, make him her apprentice. At this point, Hinoka still doesn't know the full extent of the mess he was suddenly thrust into. But perhaps it's always been there in the shadows, and Ayaka was just doing all that she could to keep him in his blissful ignorance. Regardless of what it is, Hinoka's set on making sure that Ayaka's not alone in this fight. And so, their real friendship and battle begins. If you made it this far into the video, here's a cookie. Please subscribe to the channel and press the notification bell to stay updated. More fun anime coming soon. See you in the next one.